Somewhere over the rainbow, down in Laurel, there's an artist that we've heard about long ago on a website. It's snack time.
Thank you, Tom. It's snack time. It's 3:15, and today I'm going to talk about I don't really know exactly how to put this. I don't want to say pornography because today's episode is actually about redemption from pornography. You see, in the 8th grade, I was just discovering my roots as an artiste. Well, I'm never really an artist. I mean, I'm not very good at drawing, but I always enjoyed it. Anyway, I had a teacher, and her name was, I won't say her first name because that's not nice, but I will tell you her name was Mrs. Gray, and that is her name. And Mrs. Gray taught world studies class. And back in the 7th and 8th grade, and I think some of you might have had the same interest, I was really into, well, there was no Xena warrior princess then, but I was really into that whole like medieval kind of thing of sorcerers and basically medieval chicks who, you know, had swords and stuff. And I was always drawing those pictures. And I'd really work and plan them out and give them armor and a sword. I think it's because I loved the movie Conan the Barbarian. Well, Mrs. Gray one day caught me drawing. I shouldn't say caught because I wasn't doing anything wrong. People, you know my drawings. You know there's nothing pornographic about them. It's a celebration of color and magic markers and good family values that we can all share with each other. And she decided that my pictures were pornographic. You see, she was very much of a feminist, and when she saw that like half-naked medieval sorcerer chick with like cups on her boobs, all she could see was like Hustler and Bush and Cherry and nudity. And she said, Terry Crum, she looked at the picture and she held it up and she said, this is what we need less of. These kind of pictures. Terry Crummett, detention. After school, detention for 2 days. And then I got home and my mom called and my mom said, Mrs. Gray from school called and she says you were drawing pornography. And of course, I was crushed. I was crushed. You've seen my pictures. Nothing pornographic about them. So the wheels of justice started to turn in my head. You know, I started thinking, it's not fair. I try to express myself through beautiful pictures, creative drawings. And what do I get? I get slapped with censorship before censorship was even in style like it is now with the government and the internet. So I decided that, yes, I was going to do the right thing for artists out there everywhere, for every artist or wannabe artist who's ever been put down and labeled bad. I decided that I was going to get revenge on Mrs. Gray and all like her, all artless, selfish bitches who don't know art when they see it and when it kicks them in the ass. So I did what any red-blooded American or European or just about anybody would do. I went and I brought from my mom's closet the largest vat of industrial-sized Vaseline I could find, and it was pretty big, and I hid it in my book bag. And that next day, after the detention, I took it to school. And before the bell rung, I took it out of my bag. I took off the lid. I went to the closet where Mrs. Gray goes 3 or 4 times a period, always opening this closet. I mean, she always kept her folders in there. And sometimes she would open it and not even get anything out. She just was obsessed with this closet. So I took the Vaseline jar, didn't even have to touch it with my hands. I took off the huge industrial-sized lid, and I greased up the door handle. I mean, I greased it up so good that there was more Vaseline than there was handle. And when it was good and greased up, I stuck the lid back on and zipped it back in my book bag. And people, I patiently waited. I watched and I waited. And in that period, she went left. In that period, she went right. And finally, I saw her going toward the closet door. She was walking slowly toward the door. She was still talking about something boring. I don't know, Magellan, Napoleon, something, anything boring. And she reached out slowly. Slowly she reached up for that door handle. I could see it coming. There it was. And I closed my eyes so I could hear the brilliant, juicy squoosh, the squish of retribution, of revenge, of anti-pornographical feelings. And then I opened my eyes, and there she was. It was.
Cut.